This is Mason.
Jameson got it! He scores! Woo!
Here in the 315, we love Lex.
Oh, Memorial Day have done it again.
It's time for the Syracuse Lacrosse post-game show. Here's Brian.
Everything's terrible. All right, there's the show. That's the show. Everything's terrible. We can just end it. Oh my God. Like, what are we doing? Just total, absolute no-show. 6-0 first quarter, 5-0. I don't know. It was 6-0. They got run off the field. The defense was okay. McCool kept him in it for a while. Mullen got crushed at the face-off X, and the offense did absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. 11-7. Final score today. Princeton looks real good. Dominant performance by the Tigers today, and the Orange are going to have to turn it around real quick as they head to Penn on Sunday. Else, they'll be staring at the face of a 3-game losing streak. Number one, climb. The long 6-year climb back to number one. And then, oh, man, just rough day for the Orange today down in New Jersey. That snowbank looked freaking sweet, though. Like, blizzard, they took the whole blizzard and just pushed it over to the side of the field. That looked cool. So there's that. But welcome in, everybody. It is our Syracuse Lacrosse post-game show, and we'll get things going here as we always do with our Thompson Road Tavern opening menu of the day here. What do we got here? We've got the link pinned top of the chat. You know that. We'll take your calls throughout the show whenever you'd like to partake. We've got the poll going right now, also available in the chat to name our Wild Birds Unlimited Player of the Game. Sadness and Despair, which is one of the last two men's basketball Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Players of the Game, included today for lacrosse, though currently in last place. Giant Snowbank and Jimmy McCool will duel it out. So we'll take your calls. We'll chop it up in the chat. Unfortunately, with the road game, there's really no way we're going to get Gary Gate live. We'll see if anything Gary says becomes available before the end of our time together today. And we'll just hang out here. We'll hang out in the jet here. As far as the Thompson Road Tavern, it's a Lenten Friday. So, like, as not well as it's going currently for Syracuse Lacrosse with the loss, like, they've got what's going on here? What's this? They got an $11.99 fish fry where you're getting the haddock, the coleslaw, the tartar sauce, and some chips. You can pay a little extra to get some fries, onion rings, or the tots. They've got mac and cheese. It's homemade. Don't insult them by asking. And Lenten Friday, this photographed well. This is a lovely looking clam chowder that they're showing off here. So if you want to turn that frown upside down after that Lax game, head on out to the Thompson Road Tavern, which is where? Thompson Road. It's in the name. Go to Thompson Road, get it. The first comment on this on Facebook of this picture of the chowder says it's the best. So I've seen one review of the chowder, and it says it's the best. So who am I to say it's not the best? So go check it out. There we are, opening menu presented by Thompson Road Tavern as we roll along here into our Syracuse Lacrosse post-game show. Again, link pinned top of the chat if you would like to join the program and, complain about the Lax team or whatever. Weeze is going to pig out on tacos because Syracuse has lost. I had tacos on Tuesday. Syracuse didn't lose anything, so I just did it. I just did it just because. Yeah, Higgs Family Real Estate. This was the loss last week. The loss last week was it wasn't great, but Harvard's good. It was a good game. The quality was decent enough. The short stick D-Mitty struggled. Jake Spallina didn't play. All right, it's a 1-goal loss on the road. Today, they no-showed. Absolute no-show. You say ground balls. Yeah, Syracuse got out-ground balled by 10. Face-offs, Princeton won 12-10, but during the portion of the game that decided the game, it wasn't close. And I actually think the Orange defense was okay, all things considered. Princeton only scored 11. Jimmy McCool was great. He had 17. Like, if McCool had just had an average game, Syracuse loses by 7 or 8. They easily could have lost by 10 if he plays terribly in the game. But what was going on offense? Like, what was up with the offense? The offense did absolutely nothing today. They tried to mix it up by flippity-flopping, starting Leo on attack and moving Finn Thompson down to midfield. They were actually two of the leading point getters today. Leo was 1 and 3 of the late goal. Finn Thompson had 2 goals. I don't know. Finn's really not had an explosive start to the year. Joey Spallina, man, blanked, shut out, nothing. Joey entered. Oh, pardon me. I'm looking at Jake Spallina. Either way, well, all of the Spallinas. Anyone named Spallina today? If your name was Spallina, you had 0 points today. If your name was Spallina, Syracuse, you had 0 points today. Joey coming into today in 2 career games against Princeton, including the 8-point effort in the quarterfinals last year, which was a spectacular performance. He had 17 points in 2 career games against Princeton. 17 points. He had 0 today. He still has a pretty good scoring average career-wise against Princeton, but absolutely shut out. He barely had the ball in his stick. Obviously, Princeton very focused on it, but nobody else could get anything going. Only 5 players in the game even scored a goal. Nobody had more than 2, Finn Thompson and Peyton Anderson. The Orange outshot by 12, only put 21 on net. I mean, it's just the turnovers. They only ended up with 11 turnovers, but the turnovers completely killed any momentum going on in the first half. We've been very complimentary up to this point of the season about getting some stuff off the second midfield. Wyatt Hoddle had absolutely nothing today, and we got absolutely nothing from those freshmen further down the roster, like Bogue Hall and the tops like that we've been seeing, guys, pop in and contribute a couple of goals. But, man, just got absolutely – like, it's not losing to Princeton. It's not that. Like, the loss to Harvard last week is just like, all right, Harvard's good. 1-goal game. You would have liked to clean some stuff up. You were probably you kind of lost the game, right? You could have won the game, but you kind of gave it away a little bit. Today, no. You no-showed and you got crushed. Absolutely no-showed, absolutely crushed. Just not good. And now, Syracuse, that's game 2 of 6 straight on the road. You're 0-2, 6 straight on the road. Ridiculous schedule. 6 straight on the road. Lost the first 2. Now, Penn on Sunday at noon. Penn currently is down 6-5 to North Carolina. North Carolina and Cuse are going to swap spots for dueling noon face-offs on Sunday. Apparently, they're calling this like an ACC Ivy League challenge. I was unaware that's what they were calling it until like the first quarter of this game was over. It seems like they're half-assed calling it that. I don't know. But, like, Penn's not great. Penn just tied the game up, incidentally. Penn's good. They're ranked 19th. They're not great. They're good. It's a game that if Syracuse shows up and no shows on Sunday, they will lose. They will lose. I think that, like, I'd like to think, head, heart, hustle, the Syracuse Lacrosse we think of, battling, fighting, all that stuff what that they had been known for years and years and years. Like, Sunday's a game Syracuse wins in those circumstances. Yeah, otherwise, Scotty Real, to your point, if Syracuse loses Sunday, you don't need to retract your message. If Syracuse loses on Sunday, they're 0-3 against the Ivies. You're 0-3 against the Ivies, which that then can really factor in significantly later. Because now, limited results, like the season's not that long, RPI, now, like, hey, say Penn wins this game against Carolina. They're tied at 6, early stages of the third quarter. Now, it's like a few years ago, the year Notre Dame got left out when they were 4th in the country, when the Ivy League's going to be building up, Cornell went out to Denver and won last week. The Ivy League, Princeton beat Maryland last week. The Ivy League's putting some stuff in their back pocket now that could seriously affect how the tournament is selected down the line. And if you're Syracuse, you don't want to mess around with stuff like that. With fish, Wheeze, you crush it with fish. Izzy Skane's brothers on Penn? Huh. I did not know that, Steve Hatch. Good nugget. Good nugget. Oh, man. Are we doing pregame for tomorrow's Battle Gavendo? Postgame. I can't just get ready before a game, before a 5:45 tip. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow for postgame for Syracuse and Wake Forest. Again, link pinned top of the chat. Let the typos fly, Scotty Rill. Well, this is a no judgment typo zone. Just let them go. I will say this, JM, like the weather obviously had nothing to do with it, but the time of day, the sunset, like the sun going across the field was wild. There was some crazy sun field there slashing across the middle of the field like late second, early third quarter. That was wild. Like there must have been. You don't want to get plunked with a lacrosse ball you don't see coming. That was a crazy sun field time of day. I have not been at Class of 52 Stadium in a minute. The last time I was at Princeton for a Syracuse-Princeton game, the last game I was at there anyway, the game was played in the football stadium. So, yeah, I don't think I had been at a game in Class of 52 since, I don't know, like 06, 07, something like that. You're questioning March's in-game coaching. You know what's interesting is Pat's usually a pretty good in-game coach, so that's why I, think of the, and here's my main example for that, Steve Hatch. Was it 2 years ago, the game Pat got kicked out of the Cornell game, and Syracuse had a big lead. Pat gets kicked out, and the offense went kablooey, imploded. That's one where we saw what happened when he wasn't there. That's the one direct evidence. So I'm wondering, because I've always liked Pat, what he's been able to do on offense. It something feels missing here the last few. Even in the wins, it just something felt a little missing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it clearly today, just a total no-show. An independent Baptist. That's the only way to Baptist, man, NY. He can still have, fish on Fridays. You don't need to, you can just do that just because it's delicious. Carolina just scored. Man, every time I turn my head, somebody else has scored in this game. 7-6 Carolina. They're early in the third quarter, so we'll keep half an eye on that as Syracuse plays Penn on Sunday. They play Carolina, obviously, also later this season. When's that game? They go to Carolina on April the 4th. April the 4th. Yeah, Matt and Wyatt, you talk about that they brought back a lot, a ton from last year's team, right? Owen Hiltz was really good at lacrosse. They lost Owen Hiltz, and maybe that's what's missing on offense a little bit. Owen Hiltz was a fantastic lacrosse player. He was such a good, he had so many skills. He wasn't a great dodger, but, he couldn't kind of short areas, but he such good vision. The ball didn't stick with him. The ball would just, he was a very good facilitator. Obviously, he was a great shooter. Yeah. That maybe they did lose more in Owen Hiltz than you would have figured. Maybe, they also played great in the Maryland game. The team did. The offenses on both teams kind of petered out late in that game, but the team, maybe the getting back to number one was not the secret sauce these guys needed. Maybe it kind of crashed over the edge after that. It'd be crazy to say because Sunday is March 1st. Sunday is when the season used to start, and they're now going to be 6 games in. So it's crazy to say Sunday is a must-win against Penn. But, man, you lose that game, and you're adrift at sea early on. That's what I don't get. Finn Thompson's been a really good player in his career. That couldn't all have been because of Owen Hiltz. Finn looks lost at sea right now, and I don't get it. Obviously, Finn and Hiltz did have they had a phenomenal chemistry with each other. Is that lacking between Finn and Bear? but he's still got Joey there, and the midfield, you still got Roa, you still got Leo, you got a lot of the guys there. I don't know. Yeah, Finn's looked. I know he had a couple goals today, but he's not been. Finn was also very similar to a guy like Hiltz, right, where they have such, box skills, Canadian skills. They're doing all the screening, the picking, the extra little passes, the quick movements, all that stuff. Like that shouldn't vanish just because one other guy's not there. It's odd. It's just the whole thing has felt off here in the last few weeks. The defense, I think, is okay. Obviously, Short Stick still needs to step up. In McCool, you got a decent to good goalie. I think in Figueres and in Dwan, you have two really good close defenders. We were talking on Twitter at some point during the game. I think old number 27. I think old QB5 Joe Filardi. He's going to be one hell of a lacrosse player at some point. He's got skills and speed, and the whole thing. But I don't know. Like, what's that? It's not losing today. It's not the loss that's frustrating. It's the way they played. It's the way they played. What even was it? What was that? Like, that was a no-show. That was an absolute no-show. And like we've seen, and it was one of those games, like if you've watched as much Syracuse Lacrosse as I, and many of you here have watched a lot of Syracuse Lacrosse, like Syracuse has tossed in some stinkers of quarters over the years, right? Like that first quarter, was it 5-0 after one, then 6-0 early in the second? Yeah, like that's happened before. That's happened before. And then, like, win or lose, Syracuse generally, like, historically, has one of those, like, oh, we're here now, and then the game happens. That never happened today. It's the caveat being this, it is February 27th. It was game 5, so obviously they've played plenty of lacrosse. We're very far from where things need to be, but the schedule is bonkers, right? There's not a breather here. I don't think Hopkins is great, but you got Penn on Sunday. Penn's solid to good. Hopkins is not great version of Hopkins, but it's a road game at Homewood. That's never easy in a week. Then you're going out, you're Mile High, you're going Air Force. I didn't realize the days of the week these games are on. The Air Force game is on a Thursday at 5 Eastern, 3 Mountain. And the Denver game is Monday, March 16th at 8 o'clock Eastern? Huh? All right. Then you got Georgetown's a good team. Georgetown's in the Dome. Duke obviously is good. You got Duke in the Dome. Then you're at Carolina. They're number 1 right now. Virginia's not what Virginia was, but I don't care. It's still Virginia. You got them. Don't know a ton about Colgate. Then you're at Notre Dame, and at Notre Dame has not gone well recently. Then the ACC tournament. Like, you don't have really any spot here to take a breath the rest of the way. Well, JM, I'll say this. It's Syracuse Lacrosse. The expectations were that high already. It's Syracuse Lacrosse. The expectations are always that high. The expectations are supposed to be that high. And that is like a significant part of the fun of what Syracuse Lacrosse is that for decades upon decades now, like everybody involved in it embraces that. And when they go to play for Syracuse, they sign up for that. So that is good. But, man, like, are they false high expectations? No, like this team has overtly stated high expectations that they should have. And Gary, Steve, like he always did this with the women. Gary is a crazy scheduler. Gary is of the mind of, like the what is it? The steel iron sharpens iron, the forged in the hottest fire. Pick whatever metaphor you like. Pick whichever one of those is your favorite. That's Gary's theory. And he's basically of the mind of play freaking everybody. As long as you get in the tournament, it's going to put you in a position to at least know what you're all about by then. The problem here is if you lose too many, especially in the men's game, in the women's game, the tournament's bigger. If you were Syracuse, you were never going to have this issue. I think Gary had one season where everybody got hurt, it all went kablooey, and they missed the tournament. The men's tournament, there's not as many teams. So it doesn't have to go kablooey to miss the tournament. It only has to go kablooey to miss the tournament. Look at Notre Dame a couple years ago. They're fourth in the country. They were one of the favorites to win the national championship. They missed the tournament. That's the most extreme example of all time. And I'm not saying Syracuse is any danger of doing that. The Maryland win will carry a lot of weight come May. But you actually have to win some other games that matter. And, and it's not that you played all of these teams in a row. It's 6 straight road games. 6 straight road games. You gotta win some of these games. So we'll see. I mean, if the Orange is the worst team in the ACC, they will be left out. The good news is Virginia's looked like crap so far this year. So there is that. There is that. The Lax tourney, what's funny is with all these other sports, they kind of, with Lax, like there's NCAA rules or guidelines or whatever that your tournament should be whatever X% is of the number of teams that are playing the sport. Well, the number of teams playing Division I men's lacrosse has not grown appreciably to expand the tournament without just saying, hey, screw those rules, let's do whatever we want. At this point, and it's a Title IX thing, it's a funding thing, it's whatever. Basically, schools that have football at a Division I level have a very hard time, Title IX-wise, scholarship-wise, or at least using it as an excuse-wise, of adding Division I lacrosse. Michigan did a handful of years ago now, and they are one of the very, very, very rare schools to do that recently. When you look at on the women's side of things, like Boston College, best team in the country for the last few years, women's lacrosse. Clemson not only added women's lacrosse 3-4 years ago, they got really good at it, and Alexis Polina is on their team. Stanford and Cal both play women's lacrosse, etc. Pittsburgh plays women's lacrosse. NC State, etc. Not NC State, but etc. Virginia Tech does, etc. So in theory, you'd like to see that in men's lacrosse. Regardless, though, the tournament's now, what are they? It's like 17 with 1 playing game. Some years, depending, there's 2 playing games. I'd like to see, nothing crazy. Like 2 more teams, like 2 or 4, like nothing crazy. I don't think it needs to be like a significant expansion. But all I know, if there was anything, and I mean it when I'm fighting on behalf of a Notre Dame team that got left out a few years ago, because. Not 2 years ago, whenever was that, 4 years ago? I don't know. The years blend together. It was before Notre Dame won their back-to-back titles. So 4 years ago, I guess. Like when that Notre Dame team got left out, like I don't care what the rules are. Like there shouldn't have been any scenario which led to that Notre Dame team getting left out. And I'm never one to argue for Notre Dame getting more into anything whatsoever because, screw them. But like if you followed the rules and the rules correctly led to you leaving that Notre Dame team out, then the rules are not right. So there's that. What do we got? Carolina 8, Penn 7. It's dark now in Philadelphia. Okay. What is your after today, Randy? Everything. Absolutely everything. Mainly the offense. NIT Lax tourney. Could you even imagine? Oh man, the offense was terrible today. The offense was lacking imagination. The offense was lacking movement. The offense, because of turnovers early and losing faceoffs early, was lacking the ball. So I think they were kind of forcing the issue a little bit more than you would have liked for things like that. But yeah, the offense was the issue today. Princeton is a high, like, this game in the quarterfinals last year was 19-18. Syracuse only allowed 11 goals today. So, like, you're not putting it on the defense. Jimmy McCool was excellent with 17 saves. And even when you're down 6-0, it wasn't like Princeton's offense was like, oh my goodness, they're unstoppable. No, they just had the ball the whole time. They were winning faceoffs, causing turnovers. They had the ball the whole time. And, yeah. It's a big problem. It's a big problem. But yeah, like if they look right again on Sunday, it's like, all right, exhale. But here's the thing: with Syracuse Lacrosse, panic and overreacting that's the whole point of this. Like that's why we're here on a postgame show. This is Syracuse Lacrosse. We panic and overreact. That's how we do it. And if they lose on Sunday, Nick, we will extra panic and even more overreact. Yeah, Penn. Carolina just scored again. 9-7 Carolina leads Penn. Maybe the ACC's not good this year. I don't know. But it's today was a rough one. Like this, today was way more dispiriting for 8 million reasons than the Harvard loss on Saturday. Way more dispiriting. That one back and forth, good game. You're like, man, they probably should have won the game, but it's like, okay. First game back being number one, first game outside, first game blah, blah, blah. Like, there was a lot of, okay. That stunk, but. And after this, it was like, that stunk because. It was very easy to wash it away on Saturday. Today, it's like, yeah, those are things that need to be, solved toot sweet, or else there's going to be some significant issues. Hey, look at the discount code on your screen right now. SimplySweetSisters.myshopify.com. Get yourself some candles and sweatshirts and stuff. All those things. The Dependent Baptist. They're very dependent. Needy. Very needy. The Dependent Baptist. Oh, man. Can we say the offense even showed up? No, they did not show up. Was the offense in attendance today? I mean, Joey Splina had no points. Only took 3 shots. And I didn't even feel like Joey played bad. It's not like he was like, oh, man, Joey's playing bad. It was like, is anybody there? Like, are they there? Is anyone there? It's not like, man, he's playing terribly. It was like I didn't even notice him on the field until late in the first quarter because Syracuse just didn't have the ball. Did they stay up too late? Yeah. They're just getting after that Princeton nightlife. Yeah, 0 points, not a lot. It is definitely not a lot. Ooh, Sadness and Despair is caught up in our poll and taking the lead. Man, Sadness and Despair is taking over the Orange athletic community. Disappointing. I mean, I understand it, but it's disappointing. Sadness and Despair. Heck, if Syracuse basketball loses tomorrow, Sadness and Despair can really, really pick up a role here for the Wildbirds Unlimited Big Air player of the game. I may have to start looking for different pictures of Sadness from inside out. Oh, man. Again, link ping top of the chat if you'd like to call in and complain about Lax. We'll be post-gaming tomorrow as well, Syracuse and Wake Forest. I'm not sure as of yet if we'll be post-gaming on Sunday for Syracuse and Penn. Maybe some scheduling conflicts. Will apathy be a poll choice tomorrow? I like to let the game play out first, JM, but yeah. It could be in play. Apathy could be in play. We'll see. I say tomorrow. Like, today was not apathy. Today was just like, what was that? Tomorrow, if, like, the Syracuse lacrosse team no showing today, that wasn't apathy. If the basketball team no shows tomorrow, that I put on apathy. The candles arrived yesterday, Matt NY. Okay, very nice. The Orange Coast candles, very good. I would like to give full credit to the person that dropped them off at the shipping counter at Staples. I think they did a fantastic job dropping off those already packaged and labeled and everything candles at the shipping counter at Staples. I think whoever that did yeoman's work and did a phenomenal job. So credit to them, whomever they are. Oh, man. Yeah, if the Syracuse women lose on Sunday, playing Boston College, that would be a major problem. It is the 10th anniversary of Syracuse women's basketball going to the Final Four in the national title game. Lots of people and players and whatnot. invited back for a celebration this weekend, so that's cool. That's cool. How worried are we? We're more than not worried, Randy, because like after last Saturday losing to Harvard, I wasn't worried. It was just like, it's lacrosse, it happens. Today, I'm a little concerned because Syracuse really did not play well, and Princeton was better in basically every phase of the game. And yeah, Princeton's good. Princeton's a legit national championship contender. It's not like you lost to a bad team, but you got sat on today, and you need to bounce back and play well the next time. Will Q be there? I imagine not, because Ole Miss has a game, and they're good and stuff. So I saw he was on an invite list, though. I saw that, so there's that. Some of us weren't on an invite list, so I don't know about that. The penalties. Syracuse also committed most of those penalties out of frustration late in the game, Scotty. That a couple of them early. Like the first interference call of the game, I'm like, that's a little touchy. Then they called a slash a little bit later, and I think it was who got called for that penalty? The second one of the game, it was Dwan. Yeah, he slashed the crap out of him, and then most of the rest of them were later. So yeah, I will complain about the refs if given a good opportunity. But yeah, 5 of Syracuse's penalties came in the fourth quarter, and that was, I'd say at least 4 of them were of the frustration variety. So there's that. There is that. So that stuff, just like that, I kind of write off from today. What I don't write off from today is the offensive performance. Penn scored 9-8. 9-8. Starting the fourth quarter. Seemed to be many fewer people at this game than there were at the Syracuse game. I'd say the Syracuse-Princeton game. There's always many fewer people at a lacrosse game when it's not a Syracuse lacrosse game. Always many fewer people. Like, it's hard to tell because there's just shadows on the stands. I guarantee you there will be more people at Syracuse Penn on Sunday than there are at Penn, Carolina right now. I feel very strong in my ability to guarantee that. The record, Syracuse won the last 3 quarters. That is factual. The score of the last 3 quarters was 7-6. Cuse. That darn first quarter. If only. Do you get a do-over? Can we just how's the fair way a do-over? Freebie quarter? So I'll say the defense was fine. McCool was good. It was the offense. The offense just no-showed it. And that's really disappointing. Especially after, the offense of many of the same people dropped 19 on Princeton in the quarterfinals last year. 19! They, 19! How do you go from 19 down to 7? The good news. Here's some good news. I will give you good news. That has nothing to do with anything we saw today. Scoreless in the first quarter for the first time since last year. That's okay. There have been many, and not just in Syracuse, but in lacrosse, there have been many, many times where there's been a game like this that gets really reversed in the playoffs. Really reversed in the playoffs in lacrosse. I always think of 2004. It's the first game I did with Kyle. Was the game at Homewood, early March Hopkins. Mike Powell, shutout, 0 points. Mike Powell, shutout, 0 points. I think it was either the only game of his career with 0 or one of 2 in his career with 0. Syracuse lost that game. I believe the final score was 17-5, and if it wasn't 17-5, it was something equally embarrassing as that. Hopkins was the number 1 team in the country. Everyone knew they were fantastic. Syracuse spent the entire rest of their freaking season getting ready to play Hopkins again. They secretly put in a zone defense. They never used all this stuff. Sprung it on them after halftime in the Final Four. Beat them, then beat Navy in the national championship game. So, like, results like this can be overturned. And this beating was not anything like that one. That was an absolute destruction. Yeah, that sounds right, Steve Hatch. I wanted to say in one other game in his career where he got shut out. So, like, can disappointing regular season games like this turn around and turn around in a big way in the games that matter? Absolutely they can. But Syracuse's offense looked bad. And, Randy, to your point, like, Princeton packed it in. The announcers were talking about it. They switched to kind of a funky zone at one point that was really sunk in. We're daring them to bomb away from the outside. Now, Princeton's goalie, Croddick, is really good, and he's good at the outside shots. He had 14 saves, so they have a goalie to back that up. But Syracuse just did not have a way to penetrate the zone. And we go back to the idea of what, like Owen Hiltz and all those things. Oh, the Greg Havlicek game. Oh, I remember that game, Steve Hatch. That guy was ridiculous. What do you have, like 22 saves or something crazy? But Princeton's defensive strategy today, my main worry is that is a strategy that is not that hard to copy. And that's what worries me, is that other teams now would be stupid not to do that to Syracuse, right? Just stupid not to do that to Syracuse. And it's one where that's not like a strategy that requires like literally tons of strategy. They were just sink it in, pack it in, make him shoot from the outside. Like, Leo's got a good outside shot. Like, look at the numbers. Luke Rolla today, because of that, he took 10 shots. He only scored 1 goal. And nobody else was doing that. And Syracuse was not able to wedge their way in there. Yeah, they did not change or counter the strategy. They're going to need to come up with a counter to that strategy, or else, just things are going to stall. And like that historically, where Spallina, right, not being the best, like dodging to score is not only always his best ability, like sometimes that's a way to do that. You also don't necessarily have, like, Peyton Anderson's a big dude, but he's not really a crease attackman. Like, Owen Hiltz, I would consider more of a crease attackman in his skill set than Peyton is, even though Peyton's much bigger than Hiltz was, though Owen had some size about him. He just wasn't tall. So, and then Finn Thompson, I don't know what's going on with Finn Thompson, even though he had 2 goals today. He just hasn't quite looked right so far this season. Like, the puzzle pieces just haven't quite connected. The good news is it's February. There's plenty of time to connect the puzzle pieces. The bad news is you're 5 games in, and now you've lost back-to-back games. So it's tough. It's tough right now. And yeah, it's amazing how fast. It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago today? Was that 2 weeks ago? Yeah. The Maryland game was 2 weeks ago today. 2. Syracuse played great, beat Maryland, number 1 in the country. And it's all gone to hell. Oh, the sky is falling, has fallen, collapsed, and everything has gone terribly wrong. Oh. Yeah, the ground balls are big, Scotty. That, you talk about a game, like Princeton, they don't, you'd love a time of possession thing for lacrosse. Obviously, it'd be very, very hard to, like, in real time, live stat calculate it because so many things are happening back and forth. You'd love to see a time of possession number. I would bet that Princeton had a 2-1 time of possession advantage today. Does that sound about right? I'm Syracuse gave up winning for Lent. That's funny. I would bet Princeton had about a 2-1 time of possession advantage today. And it just felt whenever Syracuse had the ball, because of that, defense is packed in, they're pressing, the whole thing, it just never looked right. It never looked right. Is it baseball season yet? Never at Syracuse University, JM. Never. Never. At least not since 1972 or whatever the year was. Oh, man. All right, should we get into our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air player of the game? Is there any way anything Gary post-game has exists yet? Let's let's give a quick looky-loo to see if there's any Gary Gate, anything at all out in the universe. There's Gary Gate, but that's 2 days ago, so that's not as much. There's Felicia Leggett-Jack from last night. The Orange women basketball team had themselves a close affair at Notre Dame until it was not so close anymore, and they ended up losing by 10 last night. They've got Boston College, pardon me, on Sunday. Let's see if we got anything in the Twitter universe that Gary Gate may have said after the game. Any quotes? Usually we turn to WAER for got nothing. Like, I'm sure Gary said stuff, but did anybody put it? Gary Gate. All right. The first thing that came up was me. Well, that's not helpful. Gary Gate. Gary, yeah. I got absolutely bupkis on the internet about anything Gary Gate may have said after the game today. So, yeah, there's that. There is that. I can't find anything. So, yeah, I'd love to tell you what he said, but it's not out there. And I just randomly got a gif of somebody taking vitamins. I don't know what that has to do with Gary Gate. That's peculiar. Okay. So, yeah, we'll take another look before we leave for the day, but nothing out there at the moment from Gary Gate or anybody else on the Orange Lacrosse team. Yes, Matt NY. How may I help you while I dial up our Wild Birds Unlimited backyard bird cam so we can do our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air player of the game. It looks like they have quotes. Where do you see the quotes? Did I whiff on the quotes? Did I miss? Where are they? I didn't see them. I saw no quotes. I will look again for quotes. Who had quotes? Maybe the DO. How about the DO? These student travel budgets are fancy. Daily Orange Sports. What? No, this is somebody. No, nothing there. Pardon me while I search the internet. Searching the internet. Wait, what do we got here? Is this story? Ah, here we are. The DO has posted their gamer with a few quotes in it. So, credit to the Daily Orange. This story written by Zach Wolf. He spells Zach, Z-A-K. Wear it, the letter C. Oh, wait, that's a quote that Gary said the other day. That's... What? Never mind. I retract my statement. There are no quotes in this article either. Check out the profile above. The profile above what? Where am I going? What am I looking for, Mad and Why? You're being mysterious. I got absolute nothing here. What's this? I'll click on this. Free newsletter. I don't know what I'm clicking on here. Whoops. Oh God. Now we've overclicked. I don't know. I got nothing. I see no quotes from Gary Gate anywhere. I've looked around. We've looked for Gary Gate saying anything, and we have not found it. We have not found it. If you have the link, Matt NY, just toss it in, unless it's not going to let you add a link to the proceedings. If we got a link, we'll rock a link. Pre-game quotes. Yeah, there was. I saw a quote from Gary Gate in the article, and it was like, "Oh, Gary said on Thursday." I'm like, I don't care what Gary said on Thursday or on Wednesday. Today's Friday, and we need. Not that Gary ever says anything all that enlightening, mostly intentionally, but yeah, you know. Okay, so with that, let's pull up the backyard bird cam. Is it dark yet? Closing on 7 o'clock. Have an early springish vibe this afternoon. What do we got? Bird cam. The bird cam's taking a while to load. Didn't load. What's going on? Everything's falling apart. Why is the bird cam not loading? Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's dark. All right, with that, let's go to the backyard for our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game and to the results of today's poll after Syracuse's 11-7, he said, loss at Princeton today. I gave you 3 options on our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game poll today. Jimmy McCool, he was the one Syracuse Lacrosse player that got in the voting. He had 17 saves today. He got 27% of the vote. If you were watching the game, your eyes were immediately drawn to, like, the blizzard pounded that area earlier this week. Us in Syracuse, nary a flurry. Take that, everyone else. But the giant snowbank next to the field did look kind of awesome. That giant snowbank got 33% of our vote. And yet again, after consecutive wins in the basketball season, with 40% of the vote, sadness and despair has made its way to the Syracuse lacrosse season. And for the 3rd time here in the month of February, now spanning multiple sports, sadness and despair is our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game. Sadness and despair will look to pick up 2 in 2 days tomorrow when Orange basketball heads to Wake Forest for a 5:45 tip. And since the tip's at 5:45 tomorrow, it will give you ample opportunity to do some shopping at the Wild Birds Unlimited locations in both the Fayetteville Town Center and Camillus, open tomorrow on a Saturday from 10 in the a.m. until 5 in the p.m. 11 till 4 will be the hours on Sunday. Go buy some bird stuff. I saw a goose flying overhead this morning. I don't think a goose is going to utilize the bird cam. A little bit too big, prefers the pond. But lots of tweet noises going around. The birdies getting ready to go. Quad 1 game tomorrow. Quad 1 opportunity tomorrow. CW joint. Oh, man. There we are. Sadness and despair yet again is our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game. And with that, I think we've got it. I think we got it pretty well talked out here today. Syracuse just on offense, certainly, and in many ways the whole thing, a no-show against Princeton. Final score again tonight was the Princeton Tigers 11 and the Syracuse Orange 7. Syracuse trailed 5-0 after 1, trailed 6-0 into the second quarter, and obviously never once led in the ball game. Thanks, everyone, stopping by, chatting some lax. I don't know yet, schedule-wise, if we're going to be able to pull it off on Sunday. I will keep you apprised as Syracuse and Penn play each other at noon. Yes, sadness and despair, 26. Tomorrow we will be here, 7:45-ish. I don't know when a CW 5:45 tip's going to end. After Syracuse and Wake Forest, the 3rd to last regular season game of the Red Entree era. We will be here post-game for that tomorrow. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. If you'd like to become a member of the channel, that $sign's next to the chat box. Click it, see what your options are, and do whatever's best for you. With that, have a great Friday evening, everybody. We will talk to you again in a little bit more than 24 hours from now.
Thanks for watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. We'll see you next time.